Guys, welcome to New Markeko Monday. Today we'll be talking about just how to use your audience along your funnel, because one of the things that I've seen a lot of mistakes people doing with audiences is not really being sure how to use them properly within your funnel, right? So you can do so much. You can have there's plus 50 custom audiences you could do. You have saved audiences, you have lookalike, but where do you usually use them and how do you use them? And so what we're going to be talking about today, I'm going to simplify it a little bit, right? But usually you have a couple of stages. You have awareness, you have interest, right? You have consideration. And this varies. There's people that use monetization here, or conversion. This could be another one, right? So conversion. And you have your fourth stage, which is basically monetization, right? So this is where we'll make money. And so what you're trying to do is have people go through your funnel from stage 1 to stage 2, 2 to 3, finally 3 to 4, and probably get people that are customers to go back to the awareness stage or just become loyal customers, right? So you could even say there's a fifth stage here, which is basically how you create loyalty among your current customers, right? So that they go back and buy from you again. And so one of the biggest things that I've seen is, how do you tie the funnel, to the three audiences that Facebook has? And so you have your lookalike audience, your saved audience, and you have custom or personalized audiences, right? How do you use them along the funnel? And this is where I see a big mistake in people. One is, at what stage? And so when did you really use specific audiences, right? Like, what audiences are for awareness, which ones are for interest, which ones are for monetizations, and which ones are for loyalty. And this is what I'm going to talk about today, is how to use these three, right? So you're going to have one is your lookalike audience. And your lookalike audience, if you think about it, you use lookalike audiences to find new customers. Here's the thing though. If you think about lookalike audience, you can build lookalike audiences from various sources. You could use your pixel, or you could use a database, right? So people that have already purchased, so customers. I could use both, right? I could say, well, I'm going to find people who have visited my site in the past 30 days, or I'm going to use customers who have purchased from us in the past 30 days, right? Now, what is the difference between your pixel and your database? And it's really, think about your funnel again. Who is a better source for building that potential lookalike audience? And so if you think about it, your pixel is going to be further away in your funnel than your database. Why? Because the source is different. Here I'm using people who have purchased from me. Here I'm using people that have visited my site. So if you think along your funnel, a database audience will be a much better audience than a pixel audience. And then where do you go from there, right? So your lookalike audience will always be better than a core or saved audience. And this is the second audience that we're going to talk about. And here I can do basically a couple of things, but you can really do one thing, and that's really used audiences based on demographics, geography, right, and interest. Again, if I look at my funnel, pixel, database, then you have your core or saved audience. Facebook will usually do a better job than what you can do in segmenting new audiences. Again, what do I use this for? acquiring new customers. I'm going for new markets, right? I'm trying to find new people. So if you think about your lookalike and your saved audience, I'm trying to achieve the same thing in a different way. In what way? In the sense that my pixel and database lookalike audience, so this is my lookalike, will be much better than my saved audience. But I'm trying to do the same thing. So I'm trying to get new people to visit my site, to interact with my content. So again, if you look at your stage, you're doing pretty simple things, or pretty quickly, I guess. You're doing this lookalike and then core or saved. But I'm trying to achieve the same thing. I'm trying to get people to be interested in whatever I'm doing. Now, this is where it's tricky because you have a third one, which is your custom audience. And this is probably one of the most important ones because you could do a number of things, right? I could have a customer database. I could have website traffic with my pixel, app activity with my SDK, offline activity, or basically engagement with my fan page. And if you think about it, you should build a funnel with these audiences as well, right? The customer file is not going to have the same weight as website traffic. Website traffic is not going to have the same weight as engagement, right? Why? Because someone who's visited your site is probably at a different stage than someone that has seen a video within your fan page or someone that has interacted with a post of yours. And so when you think about custom audience, think always as a funnel. And you want to build your funnel based on a couple of things, right? So if I look at the last stage being monetization, if we build our funnel towards monetization, who are the people that are furthest away within these five? Well, obviously it's going to be engagement, right? And I could even say that someone that has liked a post, it's in a much worse or earlier stage than someone that has watched a video, right? So engagement is going to be my first audience, where like is less than video, and you can have more options here where I'm not gonna go through all of them. What is going to be the next one? So what weighs more towards getting people for my monetization? And here there could be two things. If you have an app, it's going to be app activity, someone that has installed your app, or someone that has visited your website, right? So I'm going to use my pixel. So someone that has visited my website is in a much better stage than someone that has watched or interacted or engaged with something within Facebook, right? And here I can build another funnel, and I could say my homepage, my product page, and my add to cart, right? That's in a much earlier stage within my funnel. What goes next? You could say, well, one is I could say here's where people that have actually I've monetized, right? And so here you could be your checkout, people that have installed or even like engaged or activated within your app. So they've done purchases within your app as well. So I can use my SDK, or if I have a retail store, I could say, well, offline activity, right? So people that have purchased within my store, or I could say customer files of people that have actually purchased, right? So I'm slowly building my funnel, and I'm using those audiences to build that funnel. So even though you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what you really want to do is 5 is your earliest within your funnel, right? 2, it's going to be your website. 3, it's going to be your app activity. 4, it's going to be your offline activity. And 1, or the last, is going to be your customer file. Why? Because these are people that are probably you've monetized, right? These are people that have only engaged with content. And so think about it again in terms of funnel. So whenever you're talking about audiences, think about your funnel. What stage am I trying to convert or build more engagement, right? Is it awareness, interest, consideration, or conversion, monetization, or loyalty? Why? Because I'm using different audiences for different stages. And so the first thing you want to ask yourself is, what stage is my audience? Why? Because this is also going to help you with what content to publish. Does the content make sense for the stage at which I'm trying to build a conversion and engagement, or just awareness within my audience? Is it a new audience? Is it a custom audience? Or is it basically an audience that have already purchased but I want to bring back? So every time you think about an audience, or you're building an audience, whether it's lookalike, whether it's safe, or whether it's a custom audience, think about your funnel. What stage am I trying to engage with, or at what stage is my audience at? This will definitely help you just get better results, and also make sure that the content that you're using, the image, the copy, the text, makes sense with whatever you're trying to achieve. So again, thanks for listening today. Don't forget to download our free study guide, read our blog, our group as well, so you can ask questions. We have more than 4,000 members now. Thanks again for listening, guys. See you next week.